So we have a record-breaking sale to report on. On Saturday, August 24th of this year, Heritage Auction sold the infamous 1932 Babe Ruth game-worn jersey. It is also known as the called shot jersey that he was wearing during the New York Yankees World Series game. This jersey sold for a record-breaking price of $24.1 million. This is now the most valuable piece of sports memorabilia in the history of sports memorabilia. Now, what does this mean? Well, if we get my DeLorean time machine and we go back just 2 years to the year 2022, there were 2 record-breaking sales that occurred in the realm of sports collectibles during that year. The first was a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle baseball card that also sold through Heritage Auctions for a whopping $12.6 million. The second was a 1998 Michael Jordan game-worn jersey that sold for $10.1 million. This $24 million sale eclipses both of those 2 previous auction records by far. This also increases the size of the market cap for sports memorabilia. Now, before you go emptying out your brokerage account, your bank account, your piggy bank, thinking that now is the time to invest in this market, please understand, all these items that I just mentioned that sold for tens of millions of dollars each, we are talking the top 0.5% of the market by and large. So I want to make this very clear. It doesn't mean that lower end sports memorabilia is on fire at present time. It just means the market for a lot of key higher end vintage pieces is trending and the market is being pushed to new heights as a result. So if you are investing in these items, you still have to use caution. Now, one of the questions that I continually get asked whenever I talk about sports memorabilia, Sean, are sports cards a part of sports memorabilia? And you notice right in the beginning of this video, I did talk about the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle card that sold in 2022 for $12.6 million, courtesy of Heritage Auctions. Certain sports cards can be considered sports memorabilia. The thing, though, you have to remember, they are not on par with something like this 1932 Babe Ruth game-worn jersey because there's only one of these in existence. Now, this is where my critics are going to come into the comment section. Well, Sean, what about serialized cards? What about autographed refractor cards and all those fancy bells and whistles, all the mass-produced scarcity that a lot of these manufacturers are putting out to get you to part with your hard-earned money? Again, a lot of the modern era one-of-a-kind sports cards are created as marketing hype. They are utilizing mass-produced scarcity to drum up the hype for these items. Mass-produced scarcity will never, ever be on par with a true one-of-a-kind vintage collectible. Most notably, again, this jersey that just sold for $24.1 million. Another example, the jersey that I just spoke to that sold in 2022 for $10.1 million. The Michael Jordan 1998 game-worn jersey. Those particular items are one of a kind. Be very careful putting something like a sports card where there can be multiple copies of that card out there on the market. Be careful if you're comparing that to a top-tier, one-of-a-kind item. And I want to make that very clear. There is a difference between the market for most sports memorabilia and that of sports cards. Now, you can argue when you start to get to the top 1 or 5% of the sports card market. So that would include, obviously, the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle card that sold for $12.6 million. Also, the T206 Honus Wagner card. That's a top-tier collectible. That could be the exception rather than the norm. So you just have to understand, if you're analyzing this market from that perspective, keep in mind, obviously, rarity, historic precedents, all that matters if you're investing in these items. Please do not think that just because money is flowing to these high-end pieces, that means that the bottom to mid-range of this market is also being propped up. In certain instances, it is, but a lot of those pieces are not investment worthy over the long term. Remember, the key to making money, if you're investing in the antiques and collectibles trade, is over the long term, not the short term. Short term is speculation. Short term is usually the quick flip. Short term is buying an item and hoping it goes up in value. When you're investing in a top tier piece, you have a track history of price appreciation. That matters if you're investing in these markets more than anything. Anyway, I will put a link to this particular auction sale in the video description below. I will also put a link to an excellent article on the sale of this Babe Ruth jersey that's put out courtesy of NPR. I'll put a link to that article in the video description below as well. Stay safe, my friends, and please let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.